All right, so I want to welcome you. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to take a look at some super complex strategies with options, and I'm going to show you how to really create these on your own. Actually, it's not really going to be that complex. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to try to break it down, make it easy for you guys. All right, so in order to do this, you have to be able to know at least two different strategies to be able to make it happen. Now, if you're still struggling with it, you could always book a coaching session. We can do one one-on-one on video, or you could work with me for 2 weeks, 6 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever you want. And we can work together by video and meet up regularly as well, because that's really what I do a lot of times. And mastermind with people and their accounts and the risks and all that good stuff. So anyway, let's get started and check some things out. I'm going to show you some ways to go ahead and create these strategies. So in order to make this happen, we're going to go in and go to this white paper. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. I want you to think of your two strategies. And the two strategies that you think of have to be a little bit different. They don't have to be too different, but a little bit different. So let's say I have a calendar strategy, but a little bit of the problem is that this calendar is always getting in trouble because stock prices keep going up. So here's your calendar, and here's your price when you started. It's non-directional, but it's always getting in trouble over here. So let's say 2 times out of 5, it's always getting into trouble. So how do I go ahead and tweak this strategy? Well, selling a put vertical usually works really well for, an upside move. So combining these and saying, hey, you are now married, we're going to go ahead and create a strategy that works well like this. And it's going to actually look kind of more like that to be able to create that strategy. So let's go ahead and do that. How does that work? Okay, so we're going to go in. I'm going to go on the panel and platform. And let's say we go into Goldman Sachs and I've got a calendar. Let's build out a calendar here. I'm going to go in and do a calendar. So there's my calendar on Goldman Sachs. So obviously one of the easiest ways to do this is to just move the calendar over if it's getting in trouble. Okay. But that's no fun because then you're not doing complex strategies. So here we've got a calendar on Goldman Sachs. And now if it overshoots and keeps going up, we're going to get in trouble, right? So the calendar works fine, but if it keeps going up, I'm getting in trouble. So here's how you go ahead and do that. To fix it, I'm going to go into, let's keep it in the same duration. I'm going to go to this 305 and 300 and sell some put verticals over here. 305 and 300, sell some put verticals. Analyze that trade, and now I'm going to bump up some contracts, and now look at that. I got a marriage, a friendship, a bond, and I've got a calendar and vertical baby that I made, and it's a cool strategy to make it happen. So anyway, overall, if you're trying to combine strategies, this is kind of the basic approach to being creative and making things your own and what makes sense for you. So if you like the calendar aspect, I like it, but I'm getting into trouble. It may be that you just need to tweak it for market conditions. And now you've got yourself a calendar and vertical mix where it's not bad for the upside. If it continues going up, it's a lot smoother. And you could go ahead and be a little more aggressive on the verticals and less aggressive on the calendars. And now you've got a little bit of a different construction and situation where it's maybe more like a diagonal or functions a little bit differently. And it helps keep the vega down. So kind of cool, isn't it? So this is how you go ahead and start being a little more creative with the option side. You start mixing and matching the core strategies and making it your own. How do we do another one? Let's go ahead and do another example here. So let's go back to the paper. Let's say we go in and we like doing iron condors, but we're worried about the downside. Okay, or we're worried about the upside, one way or the other. I'll show you how this works. So why don't we add in a vertical trade to it, and that'll help alleviate that. Or we could even do a single. Okay, so by doing a single to the upside. So I'm going to show you those two variations right here. So together, we'll go in and we'll build out an iron condor. I'll keep it on Goldman Sachs. They know what they're doing. All right, so we'll go 51 days. I'm going to open up the strikes. All right. And we'll go in right here at 295. Sounds like a good number, right? 290. And then right here, this one and that little one. And I've got this little baby thing, baby iron condor. And we got it going. Okay, cool. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit, 5 points, just to give myself a little negative delta. Okay, so now let's say I'm getting into some worrisome territories. I think things could explode to the upside. So what's one thing that I could do? Well, I could buy another vertical. Let's say it's going to keep going up. I could buy some verticals kind of at the money. So this one is June 10th. So June 10th, is it June 10th? Is it June 10th? Yeah, June 10th. Why did I go so tight? Let's say, here we go, June 17th. That's better. Let's go to more July. There we go. That's better. And now we can widen that out a little bit more. Okay. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay, so now if we want to go ahead and worry a little about the upside, well, what I could do, obviously I could sell more puts and do an unbalanced iron condor, but that's no fun. That's not a crazy creative strategy. So let's go in and add an extra vertical here. And I'll just go ahead and buy some verticals right here, a little bit out of the money, a little bit more bullish. And now what I've got is something like this. And it's like, cool, I've got like a little truck. Doesn't it look like a little truck? So we'll just go ahead and add like a wheel here and a wheel here. So here's kind of like our little truck. So yeah, so you could do that, or it could look like a smiley face. But anyway, point being is you've got some more room on the upside. So what it does is smooth out this curve a little bit more this way. And that's what makes it a bit nicer. You could do the same thing on the downside with a put vertical, but I'm not going to go into that. The other thing you could do is, let's just say we go in and buy a simple single, and now we can see how that'll smooth that out as well. So now if that stock price keeps going up, I still get a theta here, but it's just a lot less, right? By doing that extra single theta, I went from 40 or 39 to 25. So it does reduce the theta a bit in those situations, but it's not too bad. So, but it smooths out that upside problem if the market keeps grinding up. So anyway, just to show you that, look, you could really go into a lot of creative strategies. You could do all kinds of things together, but this one, let's say we did a calendar and a vertical, you get like a calendar vertical mix. And if you could do iron condor with the other singles, it's just, you know, iron condor with an extra single or iron condor with an extra vertical, you know, so you could make up new names for them and call them whatever you want. But everything stems from a basic single call, single put, buying or selling, and then everything else is just a construction. And that's where these names came in. Calendar, iron condor, you know, vertical, all that stuff. It really stems there. So could you make up a new one, a new name for yourself? Yeah, I could say, hey, a cal plus a vert. It could be a calvert or a vert cal. You know, you can make up your own names. So like a cow, this is my cow, calvert. I don't know. So you make up some stuff, and you got yourself a new strategy that you could name yourself in your own notes. So my point is this is how you go ahead and come up with different strategies to making sense for you and to market conditions. You can constantly be evolving them, because it doesn't have to be the traditional regular strategy. You make things up and adjust them as needed based on what you're doing in the market or how the market's behaving. So anyway, I hope that helps, gives you some insight. Definitely check out the Traders Fly website if you want to work together, mastermind, create some strategies that work for you, and we can talk about them. So thanks for joining me. Subscribe to the channel or check out some of the classes that we've recently done in the past. I'll see you next time.